Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ryan Webb here. It is January 30th, 2025 of the new year. We are joined here in Studio 73. I'm with my co-host, Thomas Dempsey. We have a great little episode today. It's just going to be us two talking over some current events. But like I said, we're great to be here. We're in Studio 73 right in downtown Boston and the Captain's Corner podcast. Those who play the sports and talk about it and just discuss today. Love to introduce Thomas.
Thank you, Ryan. What's up, Suffolk sports fans? Thomas Dempsey. We're ready for another great episodes of Captain's Corner. Before we start, I'd like to give a little recap of how our winter sports teams are currently doing. Our men's ice hockey team and our women's ice hockey team currently very similar standings, records. The men's ice hockey team is currently 8-8-2, and the women's ice hockey team is currently 8-8-1. So both programs are doing pretty well and prone to have a huge second half. The men's basketball team is currently 12-6. They have a game this Saturday versus Gordon, and the women's basketball team is currently 10-8, and they also have a home game this Saturday versus Gordon as well. The winter track team is coming up on two meets this weekend, the John Terrier Classic and the Harvard Invitational. All of our sports teams are performing at a really high level. We're blending well amongst teams at Ridgeway. As our weekend games come around on Friday and Saturdays, I know our men's ice hockey team likes to do a stretch there before our games, and oftentimes we see members of the women's basketball team doing the same thing, coming together, being together, getting ready for their games or whatever they have coming up, and seeing kind of the camaraderie within Suffolk Athletics is something that's super special. And oftentimes we're in the gym together, we're working out together, so we might be on the men's ice hockey team, but in total, we're really just we're one big sports team at the end of the day, and we're all here to support each other, and that's one of my favorite things about Suffolk. Could you tell us a little bit about this past weekend with the men's ice hockey team?
Yeah, definitely a pretty cool event we had. Happens every year, obviously, but the alumni weekend. We had Endicott. They're a great team, obviously. Only good things to say about them. They're a pretty good program. They've been to the national tournament the past 3 or 4 years, coming in, second to fourth place. They haven't gotten one yet recently, but they've won our division in the past couple of years as well. A lot of good players and good battles against them for sure. But we had our Saturday night battle at home against them, and the alumni came out to support. I think that was really cool. We had a great showing this year. I mean, how many guys do you think we had come out?
From the picture of there was an alumni hockey game at 1 p.m. before our men's ice hockey game. I think they had around 40 guys show up for the game, which is really special, and they all matriculated to our game afterwards. They had a little meeting at the Yacht House in East Boston after the alumni game before our game, so it was great to see some familiar faces, make new connections with alumni, Suffolk alumni who's been here many years before us, so it was great to meet and see a lot of friendly and new faces as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously our home rink being East Boston, the Perazzo Park skating center, is cool to have that support. We don't always get the most fans, so it's cool to kind of have them in our corner, have some rowdiness, extra fans and support there to get the guys going. We had a great battle as well, 1-0 game, ended up going in Endicott's favor, but it was great to see them too. And then I know a tradition we kind of have at Suffolk is after the game, everyone kind of heads over to the 21st Amendment, and it's great for us to kind of go catch up, see past teammates. Us being upperclassmen now, we get to see a lot of the guys. When we were freshmen, we're coming in, and they were the kind of guys that we looked up to, and we would ask for all this support and help, and now we're kind of in their role. I thought it was kind of cool. So. Absolutely. Seeing it from that perspective, what do you kind of take away from that?
Yeah, it really comes in full circle. I remember talking to Devin Lowe. He was the captain the last 2 years before Ryan and I, and just reminiscing. And we talked a lot about, not necessarily the wins and losses, but the memories that we shared together in the locker room, outside the rink, team dinner. And that just kind of changed my perspective about a lot of things. We're not going to be playing hockey for the rest of our lives. It's not always about the wins and the losses, but it's about those memories and those relationships that you make. They're more valuable than any win or any loss. But it's great to see some really familiar faces, get to catch up, see what they're doing, where their work has brought them, and kind of what they're doing in their professional life. And I thought it was very cool to hear from a lot of the athletes telling us that, being an athlete in college really helped prepare them for their professional career. That's being on time, working hard when no one's watching, because that's how you get better, and that's really a skill that athletics has probably taught all of us. There has to be some sort of discipline. So kind of hearing that from the guys that we looked up to, and kind of hearing them tell their stories, and to kind of to where they are now, it was great to hear. It's also very insightful. So it was a great experience, and it was really great to see them again. So yeah.
And you mentioned kind of the winter sports being over at Ridgeway, our athletic facility. Obviously, I feel like right now it's kind of the most busy time over there. The place is always packed. There's always the trainers. So kudos to them for always being ready and available for all of us. It's been a huge help. And, a little biased, but I think winter sports is kind of just like the pinnacle. Like, I think it's like the basketball is going on. I know, like, when we're in Ridgeway, we're, if we're not trying to get some sort of the basketball court to stretch, we're sharing it with basketball. Soccer's in there, using it to play some futsal. But myself, I don't know, have you been to a women's basketball game? I went down a couple times after a workout to catch them. They were playing some good ball. It was good to support. They get pretty rowdy down there.
It's really cool. It's really cool going to the basketball games at Suffolk. It's we got a really nice gym in the basement of Ridgeway, and it's kind of like you're really on the court, so like you get up close and personal with the players. You really see everything that's going on, and it does get pretty rowdy, and it's very cool seeing the athletes, both men and women, put in the work in the off season or even at practice or in the weight room, and then see them perform at the highest level on the court. I think that's the coolest part for me is seeing how hard they work, and for them to go perform in a game. I think that's something that's very cool, and I respect everyone out there doing their thing. It's very cool.
Yeah, so. I think it's definitely I like the balcony too. Up there, I've watched a couple of games with some teammates, and you're really kind of like over the court. You're really almost like in the play. You can hear everything they're saying, the plays they're calling, stuff like that. It's really kind of unique. I've never seen that at that level. So that's it's cool. It's super competitive. So kudos to them as well. They're just kind of killing it. I love it.
Totally.
I love those games.
And then to go off that point, like this fall we went to a women's soccer game, and we supported them as like a Saturday team activity. It was great for our hockey team to kind of get together and just kind of be together for the day, but it was also great to support another Suffolk sports teams. And in turn, at many of our games, we've had both men and women's soccer players. We've had the basketball players, track team. It's great just seeing the representation from all different sports across the board, which really goes to show that Suffolk athletics is a close-knit community, and we're all here to support each other, and we just really want the best for each other at the end of the day, and it's pretty special.
Yeah, and I think too, that's why it's kind of tough, because the women's ice hockey team, they have the similar schedule with us, where they're practicing Monday through Thursday all week. We see them in the weight room, but then we play Fridays and Saturdays, and they do too, so we don't always get a chance to see them or support them. I know there's times where they have like home games and we have away games, and they start a little bit later. And I remember one time we came back and they were in overtime against Endicott when we were bringing our stuff back into the locker room, and that was just so cool to see that. They ended up winning the game too, which is even more special. But times like that, and even were you there a couple years ago when they were in the championship?
I was.
When it was the CCC.
The CCC championship freshman year. Yeah, that was one of the coolest memories I've had at Suffolk, was going to that game, seeing the women's ice hockey team lift the CCC trophy. I think that gave you goosebumps just thinking about it. But it was a really special moment. Very happy for those girls who got to win that, and it just goes to show that like there's representation from almost every sports team there. There's a student body, non-athletes, like everybody was there supporting the women's ice hockey team that day, and we really just weren't an individual team at that point. Our whole school was a team, and that was very cool to see, and that rink come alive. It's pretty special.
Yeah, I think like that was a great opportunity because we had the chance to go support them because we don't with the schedules being matched up as always. And big shout out to Lily O'Neill, one of our friends. She's the goaltender for the team. She's had huge success, a legend at Suffolk University, and she actually had to kind of hang up the pads this past year. I know she was a dual athlete, I believe.
Yes,
I think she played
softball and
softball
ice hockey.
too. Yeah. So yeah, she's a legend. I know the guys on our team refer to her as Olmark.
Linus Olmark.
Yeah, Linus from the Bruins. Rest in peace. He got traded, but she's great. Very kind person. Obviously, she was a huge part of that championship run. She had some huge stops. Do you remember what the score ended up being of that championship game?
It was extremely close, and the shots were a lot too little, and Lily really stood on her head that day and helped out the team.
I think it was a one-goal game or something.
Yeah,
I wasn't fortunate enough. I remember I had some family conflict, unfortunately, but I was bummed I missed out. Looked like a great time.
Yeah, it was the rowdiest Suffolk event I've ever been to. It was pretty neat, and that's motivation for me and for our team and for any team. In all honesty, like seeing those girls perform at the highest level and having the school support them, I think that's like one of the greatest motivations. Like we want to be at that space, we want to be in that championship, we want to have the school behind us, and I think everybody does too as well. And we're all here to support each other, like I said. And I do want to talk about the Suffolk women's lacrosse team coming up, their inaugural season. Their first game is sooner rather than later. It's coming up February 22nd at Dean. I know that it's very exciting. There's definitely a lot of energy around the team coming to Suffolk. Brand new coach, brand new team. I'm excited to see what they could do this spring.
Yeah, I've definitely I've seen a lot of them in the weight room and around Ridgeway getting treatment, getting ready. So that's cool, and that's something too where that'll leak into the spring. Obviously, they're starting up while we're still going as a team, but we'll be able to hop out and support them. I'm looking forward to that. I think we could definitely get a bus or two of our team members to go over there, and
we might have to start like tailgating or something, get some hot dogs, maybe like
get a
portable grill, and I think that could actually we could make a whole Saturday out of that. Maybe we'll have to look at the schedule, see when the women's lacrosse team's playing, see when the men's baseball team's playing, and the softball team. They're all kind of in the same complex, and we could really have like a really cool tailgate that day with all 3 sports teams there, and
over in East.
And just get a bunch of the student body over there. I think that could be a really cool idea. So hopefully on our next episode of Captain's Corner, we'll have maybe a date where we could achieve that trifecta and that great day of tailgate. That's actually that was a cool idea.
Yeah. Do you know the name of the field in East Boston?
I do not off the top of my head. I'll have to look that up.
Very cool though. One last thing I wanted to mention too. Roger Williams University, they've been in the CNE conference, but they didn't have a hockey team. And this next season, I only bring it up because I've seen some kids being committed to play there, but they're actually joining our league, and there'll be a men's hockey team. And I think that's cool because we're currently, we added Johnson & Wales University this year, and lost Salve Regina University. And what are we at, 8 teams?
We're currently at 8 teams.
8 teams, so would that make it 9?
That would make it 9. That's very exciting.
So there's going to be some more competition, and it's really cool. I'm excited for the upcoming year. I mean, I try and stay present, but I definitely think there's just a lot of things to look forward to, and I'm excited for that. And what do you think for our team going forward? What's just the challenge of like the second half of the season? I just want to ask you quickly, like, kind of wrap it up here.
I think, as we both know, our team is very capable of being a top team, not only in the CNE but in the country. So if we can maintain that tenacious identity that we've had throughout this whole year, I think that we're going to have a great last 10 games. We're going to have a tremendous playoff push. I think that's the biggest thing, get into the playoffs, and at that point anything can happen. I'm not afraid of playing anyone. I know I was talking to some Endicott guys this past Sunday after we played them. They might have beat us twice in 2 one-goal games, but I know for sure that they don't want to see us in the playoffs. And that's kind of a compliment for us and the way we play. And I know a bunch of other teams in C&E don't like our tenacity and our relentlessness, and I think that's a testament to kind of the culture at Suffolk, especially in the ice hockey program. We really care, and we want the best for each other, and we support each other. Therefore, we're going to give it all for each other.
I definitely think it starts from the bottom up, like we said, in the weight room, everything prepping the season.
Totally.
So it's exciting to see that, and like I said, our conference is so competitive. We're playing, top teams in the country night in, night out. So it's really cool to see that. Really excited for these next couple weeks, because they will kind of determine how we go as a team and how our season ends up. So it's really cool. I mean, I'm glad we got a good time to talk today.
Yes.
Really nice. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Thomas and I here once again at the Captain's Corner podcast, the voice of college sports by those who lead it. So Ram Nation, we hope you're out there, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.